Hi, welcome back to part two of this program. In discussing about anger and how anger has become an issue that we need to address, and how people can control their emotions so that we can be able to eradicate anger symptoms such as domestic violence that we are discussing about when it comes to Osinachi's case and Osinachi's death, as she was domestically abused by her husband on countless of occasions, which many people do experience, and they give accounts of what they know about the situation and the case. Now, we must understand that before a man or a woman could start exhibiting um, anger issues or anger symptoms, we must understand that there are underlying issues that give birth to such. When you see an individual that has unrealistic plan or plans that are not met, then there is an underlying issues that you and I can see. Now, we must understand that all individuals have their own unique life expectations. If you look at Osinachi's case, we understood that the husband has no job. Therefore, he was overprotective, not in the positive way, but in a negative way, of his wife. And what we can see in that situation was that Osinachi's husband protected her to a stage of stupor, that Osinachi has no relations around her because he keeps sending every family members out of their matrimonial home. I remember there was a story about a twin sister that said she came to visit Osinachi in a matrimonial home, and the husband refused to accommodate or to welcome them. The mother gave account of this as well, that she came to receive treatment, and yet Osinachi's husband refused them to stay much more longer. They were driven out. We need to understand that when we have such person like Osinachi's husband, who has unmanaged anger issues, every little thing they see, they spot, flags them up. They want to control all within their vicinity. Now, anger does not mean that you have to be, so tall, so bold. So no, anyone can display anger. Before it becomes domestic violence in their matrimonial homes, because many women that I have worked with, the genesis of their stories before it became domestic violence were all based on unmanaged emotions, unmanaged anger. And we need to understand that this aspect of life is evidenced in all individuals created by God. However, it is so hidden to oneself because it can be classified as the reality of the unknown. We need to understand that when it becomes the reality of the known, when it is evidence to the individual during our anger management therapeutic sessions that we hold, then you will see that there are underlying issues that gave birth to this unmanaged anger and unmanaged emotions. Osinachi's husband's background, his socializations, how he grew up, has to be digged up for you to understand what I'm telling you. What happened? Why did he become a monster? To the stage that Osinachi lost her life in his hand, as alleged. Why am I using alleged? Because obviously it's true, still go through the process of prosecutions and establishment of investigations to give accurate account of what really happened. Obviously, there have been many testimonies in which many believes, and nobody is doubting that, because the accounts were coming out from those close to Osinachi, including the bloods of Osinachi, such as the twin sister, the mother, and the sisters, and the family as a whole. And one thing we must understand, as a mental health specialist for many decades, I want you to know that domestic violence is not just a name. You have to check the psychological state of such an individual. You have to check that. And we must be able to save the children as well, so that if they have that symmetric or symmetric patterns in their mental state, then there needs to be intervention to guide them, so that as they're growing up, they will not do the same thing that their father did. Because don't forget that they are the same blood. They are the seed of Osinachi's husband. So this is a deep case that must be handled with so much empathetic care. It's a delicate case for a child to know, or to grow up to know, that their mom was killed by their father. Don't you know that is a problem on its own? What kind of children are we rearing for our tomorrow generation? What is the resentment that these children have against their father? That could also give birth to unmanaged emotions, escalated anger. There is more to this. And we must understand that as a result of analyzing the mental, the physical, the social, and the spiritual health of victims, such as I've mentioned earlier and I've mentioned just now, the children, the families of Osinachi, and in going back to what World Health Organization's definition of health says, who classify health as having the whole physical health, mental health, social health, then we must know there's a problem. Because psychologically the children are affected, so we can't call that a healthy mental health. And when psychologically they are affected, it affects their physical health as well. Because when they begin to have flashback of the incident of how their mother was abused, it deteriorates them and also impact on their physical health as well. So everything is interwoven. And when we have impact of psychological health, which is mental health, and the physical health affecting a child, it then brings decline into their social health. They can withdraw from people, from families, from friends, or change in the way they socialize with people. So we must know that Osinachi's case is a serious case. that many people are experiencing, not just Osinachi. We got to know her case because she was a gospel artist who everyone knows. We must understand it's a very, 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 very deep case that must be handled with severe empathetic approach. Don't sympathize with them, because if you're sympathizing with them, it's like you think, in the care field, we don't use that word. Empathetic when you put yourself in someone else's shoe to feel their pain. But when you sympathize with them, you're out of the equation. You're not feeling their pain. It's like when you just you felt sorry for them. They need more than that. They need more than that. If we cannot put ourselves in their shoes, we will understand how bitter the situation is. So therefore, if you look at the definition of the WHO, definition of health, these children can't fit in. They need support. They need support. They need prayers. They need support in every angle that every individual associated with them or even not associated with them can give to them at this moment. They need support because they are children. They grew up to witness this. They grew up to know this. And it's a sad story. It's so sad. During my practice experience, I also understood that, anger is the action that are demonstrated by the individual. And the demonstration of this anger, like I said earlier, the symptoms, one of the symptoms, is just one of the symptoms, is domestic violence. Yeah. It's domestic violence. So if we are treating, when we do treatment procedures, we don't treat domestic violence as, the issue, the problem. We treat the foundation of the problem, the anger itself. Otherwise, if we treat domestic violence, this man beats his wife. Why did you beat your wife? Are you resolving, are you resolving money issues, financial issues? Is that what escalated your anger for you to be able to beat your wife and you felt it's okay? Off you go, they're gone. No, they will come back the following year. In fact, they will come back before the following year. They will come back the next day to tell you again that they beat themselves, or the husband beat the wife, or the wife beat the husband. Why? Because you did not go to the foundation of the problem, which is the anger. You're only cleaning the surface of the problem. One of the symptoms of anger issues is domestic violence. So therefore, you need to diagnose it. That's why we use ICD-10 to understand the issues going on with our patients. Not just the symptoms. If you treat the symptoms, then you have not treated the problem. You need to understand, why does this patient, this client, have these symptoms? The reason why Osinachi's husband beats her is because he has anger issues. So one of the symptoms of the anger issues that he has is domestic violence. Yeah. Now we must also understand that, this issue involves past and current actions. That is why when we have clients seeking to come to us for help, we do give them client intake form, so that when they complete, we ask many questions on this client intake form so that we can understand their problems, their issues, and visit the foundation of the problem, not the symptoms of the problem. And we work as a multidisciplinary team. We don't work alone. We work with multi-agencies. social worker, the doctors, nurses, occupational therapists, the police, the Department of Health. We work with the courts as well. You know, we work with many agencies, the solicitors, you know, many agencies. We work hand in hand so that we can be able to support families where they need our support most, to understand the problem and to give appropriate and accurate treatments to solve the problem and not the symptoms of the problem. Domestic violence is a symptom from anger issues. In my next program, which is the part 3 of this program, we'll be unveiling more on this. If you are affected in any way and you need support, you're going through domestic violence, your husband has anger issues, your wife has anger issues, they cannot manage their emotions, and you felt, oh, you pray and pray and pray and it's done. Listen to me. Walk without prayer doesn't work. And prayer without work doesn't work. So you need to put action into it to seek help. You can contact us. Log on to our website, www.careconnectclinics.com. Email us. Get in contact with us. You can email us on info@careconnectclinics.com and we will be able to help you. Don't worry, we have confidential lines that you can be able to use to contact us. And don't worry, even when you email us, you know, we have confidentiality procedures in place. We'll be able to support you. Don't die in silence. Anger kills. Anger destroys lives. We're not missing our words together. That's the truth. And we must face it so that we can stop it. Save yourself. Save your family. Save your children. Anger kills. It destroys lives. And any family that anger has a place in, whether in the life of the family, the husband or the wife or the child, let me tell you something, it destroys the whole family. Why? Family is a tree. When a branch of a tree is pulled down, listen to me, the leaves and the branches has to fall with it. When Osinachi's death came, the children too became the victim. The twin sister too became the victim, because everyone would think, what should we have done to save Osinachi's life? They tried. They tried. I'll see you in my next program. Take care. Bye. www.careconnectclinics.com